So Season 2 of Battlefield 2042 has been out for a few days now, and I wanted to give some of my thoughts on it here. To start off, a lot of the things I said in my previous video are still true. Season 2 feels like an even bigger win for the game than Season 1 did, generally speaking, and I finally feel like I can start cautiously recommending this game to friends, provided they're on PC or a current gen console. And really, especially if you can find the game for cheap. I think I've seen Best Buy selling it on all platforms for $30 or less. It's been a long road for this game to finally get to this point, nearly a year since its release, but I'm glad that for me anyway, I can finally say that this is starting to be a good game. So to kick things off with my Season 2 thoughts, let's start with Stranded, the new map for the season. As far as the design goes, the devs are pretty accurate with its description. It's definitely smaller than the other maps in the game, and most of the action will be found within a beached cargo ship in the center of the map. I've mostly played Conquest, and in that mode, this ship makes up both points of the sea sector, while there are 4 other sectors along all 4 corners of the map, each with a single capture point. The map is symmetrical, which I love, and you're never too far away from the action no matter where you spawn. If you love the gameplay style of maps like Operation Locker or Metro, then playing in the ship is going to be perfect for you. The meat grinder style of gameplay has never been all that compelling to me, but I'm happy that there are plenty of ways to flank around the various chokes or to attack from above. The surface deck of the ship can be opened up to look down onto the action below, which provides interesting verticality. If you're a vehicle player or sniper, you'll enjoy the other 4 sectors of the map as well. Even as mostly infantry, I had some good times out there, but the outskirts of those sectors are pretty open, and you'll be an easy target if you spend too much time there. I have to say, I'm really impressed with this map overall. I was concerned about 128 players on a map so small, but it's never felt too chaotic to me, at least no more than Operation Locker or Metro did in the past. Between this and Exposure, we have 2 maps that genuinely play really well with 128 players, though I do like Exposure a little bit more. Another upside is that with a map that's so much smaller, performance is very noticeably better. I'm always above 100 FPS, and generally I'm sitting around 120. This is another big win and one of the biggest pain points for this game throughout its life cycle. We also have the new specialist. Nothing too interesting here. He can deploy a stationary minigun, and since he's a support, Crawford can revive anyone on the team, and he has the quicker animation. He also refills gadget ammo on revives. You'll see a lot of them for now, but honestly, I think he's very mediocre in terms of balance. Minigun isn't all that powerful, and I think the utility offered by Angel and Falk make them better supports, but he could be a nice addition to defensive positions alongside a specialist like Irish, and he'd probably be more useful in Breakthrough than Conquest. We got 3 new guns, and I generally have mixed opinions on them. The Advances LMG is completely overpowered and will need some nerfs. The PF51 machine pistol secondary feels a bit odd to have in the game. It just makes the other pistols obsolete, except for the Magnum if you're a very skilled player. I honestly think it should probably be a primary. The AM40 is very mediocre, and it generally just feels like a worse version of the M5 with the close quarters mag. I've also been running into a bug with the AM40 specifically, where attachments won't unlock despite meeting the requirements and kills, so maybe wait on leveling it. To move on to the Vault guns, I'm glad we're seeing them in the game, but there definitely seems to have been some kind of mistake with them. I remember reading in the past that the reason DICE waited so long to bring them over was because they wanted to add 2042 attachments, balancing, and cosmetics to make them more competitive. But what we have for the M16 and M60 feels like a straight up copy and paste job. We just have the portal attachments for these guns, which are all unlocked as soon as you unlock the weapon itself, but we don't see things like extended mags to make the M16 more viable with such a high player count. There are also no cosmetics to be found when customizing the weapons, and I've seen a lot of people complaining that these 2 guns feel like something is off about them. If I had to guess, it looks to me like there's more bloom or bullet spread than on the 2042 guns. All of this makes them notably weaker than the 2042 weapons if you care about that, but it can still be fun to have them in your hands. I'm guessing we may see an update in the future that brings the increased selection of attachments and cosmetics later on, but we'll have to wait and see what DICE says. The new vehicle is fine. It can plant the spawn beacon for the entire team, which is kind of cool, but it spawns you in the sky, so dropping the beacon near a fight will mostly make your teammates easy targets for the enemy as they parachute in. At least in my limited experience with the vehicle, I think it's pretty well balanced. We got an updated home screen with 3 large tiles that felt like they just slowed you down before are gone, and we have a nice consolidated game mode selection in the bottom left with flyout menus, very similar to Call of Duty, and the collection screen has also seen some cleanup as well. And with that, I wanted to get into a few things that I'm not really loving about this update. Specialist balance continues to be a mess. Specialists like Rao and Lise feel completely useless, while others like McKay, Sundance, and Falx still feel dominant. On top of that, the puzzling suppressor behavior that we've had since the launch of the game is made worse on this map. If you're unaware, only the PB heavy and Type 4 heavy suppressors keep you off the minimap when you're firing at all times, while the other suppressors only keep you off the minimap for opponents that are farther away from you. For example, if you use the wrap suppressor and kill one enemy while another is in the same room, that other enemy will see you on the minimap. Server performance has also been a bit hit and miss as well when playing on Stranded specifically. Sometimes full auto weapons will stop firing for a split second in between rounds, and I've noticed rubber banding starting to show up again when the action really heats up. It's nowhere near as bad as it was in the past, but it's still worth mentioning. We finally got confirmation from the developers that they will not be adding a server browser to All Out Warfare, which is a bit disappointing, but they also mentioned that persistent servers for Portal is under consideration. Personally, I don't care much about a server browser for All Out Warfare if we do get persistent servers in Portal. Everything in All Out Warfare can be replicated in Portal with full XP, so the All Out Warfare mode would basically be made redundant. I'm guessing this is one of the reasons though that we don't currently have persistent servers, since they seem really attached to matchmaking and disbanding lobbies. So that's where we stand for now, and later this month we'll have the Renewal rework followed by the Orbital rework in October. I'm extremely excited for those to come through. With Orbital, Renewal, Kaleidoscope, Exposure, and Stranded, we'll have 5 maps out of 9 that are really good to play. Plus we'll have more Vault weapons coming later in the season as well, so we have that to look forward to. So that about does it for my thoughts on Season 2. Overall, I think they took the foundation from 0 Hour and really built upon it successfully. While it's not perfect, I'm thus far very satisfied with how this update is going, and if you own the game, it's definitely worth playing again. And if you're interested in buying it, I actually think it's a pretty good time to purchase it. With that, I want to hear from all of you. Have you had a chance to play Season 2? What do you think of Stranded? And have you been using any of the new weapons? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like. And if you didn't, leave a dislike so I know I need to change something. Subscribe if you're new. See you all in the next video.